welcome back to my channel. It's been a hot minute. I have attempted this video a lot. So we're going to do it one more time with feeling. So I read some books in February, some amazing books. I started a book back in January and I finally finished it, but like in the middle of February. Kind of took a break, read a few other things, and then got back to it. So let's talk about that book. That book was Tigana by Guy Gavriel Kay. What can I say? I rated this a 4. I was on the fence because it was more of a in between of 3 and 4. I just went with 4 because it felt closer to 4. This is an adult fantasy. I really liked it. Was it the best I've ever read? No. I had high hopes that it would be, but it just wasn't. It just missed the mark just a little bit. Guy is very wordy. He's very descriptive. Some of it's really beautiful descriptions. I love the intro when you have the two fathers who are about to go to battle, the prince and his best friend, and they're talking, and that is what pulled me into really wanting to read this book. I read the excerpt, I loved it, and I really wanted to read it. You have a country that doesn't remember itself, and a magician who basically cursed it to completely be forgotten by everyone, including those that live there. The only ones that remember it are those that are born with a certain magic. And some, they just know that they have forgotten their home and they want their name back. They want their identity back. And so they are going to try to get it back by killing off, hopefully, this magician. But there's another magician that I didn't know about until I actually went into the book. I'm not spoiling anything by telling you this. That guy is a bigger dick than the other one. He is evil to the core. I'm just saying it. I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. Anybody that kills old women, old men, and children, innocent people, just because one person in the family insulted him or went against him. How dare they? You're just going to wipe out the entire family. And he does it in a way that is like, I will show people that if you do this to me, this is what happens. So he makes a spectacle of these deaths. He's disgusting. He's just a horrible, horrible being that really does deserve to die. And I really like it when you get a fantasy or another book where you've got the bad guy and you've got people that need to take him down. And in the end, they get exactly what they deserve. And I love that. I love that. And I want more of that. I kind of felt bad for the dude that cursed people. Was he a little nuts? I think so. Maybe just a tad. And yet, there was something that was redeemable about him, I felt. But these guys had to go in order for the curse to be lifted and for them to have their identity back. And there's all these bits and parts that have to be moved, and years in the making of that happening. I really enjoy this. This book itself, the actual physical copy, had a few issues, like blank pages. I mean, literally, you're like, you get to the bottom of the page, you're in the middle of a sentence, and then you flip the page, and there's nothing there. Does it start like and finish on the opposite page? No, not at all. It's just missing text. God. And when you're having things that are being described like food or woods or whatever, I'm okay with that. Missing a little piece of that is fine. There's not a whole hell of a lot of dialogue going on. You're not missing any parts that are like intricate. Fine with that. It happened a couple of times. I'm good with it. I'm okay with it. I got the gist of what's happening in the chapter. What I find really, really sad is when you're in the middle of a battle scene with one of your favorite characters. It's like a dream battle. And it's happening. And he's about to say something that's going to change the tide of the battle to win it. And you flip, and the words are gone. I don't know what he said. I don't know what words he spoke, magical or otherwise, to turn the tide and help these folks win this battle that happens during like this springy solstice-y thing. Don't know what happened. It's driving me crazy. I gotta find out. I gotta find out just what happened on that page. I don't care about anything else. Just that page. I just want to know, what did he shout? That sucked. But I'm okay with this. I'm okay with the way that it ended. It was good. And I hope that I can read some more adult fantasy, because I think maybe I need more of that in my life. I need more of the stuff where there's a lot of moving pieces and there's going to be this big finale in the end, and the bad guy gets exactly what he's or bad woman get what they deserve in the end. The bad entity, whatever the bad is, the bad gets what they deserve, and that's what needs to happen. I like karma being a bitch. That I like a lot. Gimme. Another physical book that I read was a graphic novel, Monstress. I'm gonna try really hard not to butcher the names. They are Marjorie Liu. Sana Takeda did the artwork, and it's absolutely stunning. I love it, and that's what really drew me into reading this particular volume. And I think I will like to get the rest of these eventually. I just love the artwork. There's something there. It's just kind of cool. You've got a woman who is part demon, apparently, or there's a demon inside of her. She was somehow created for some purpose, and I was a little confused here and there, because you have the storyline that bounces from past to present. I liked it a lot. I liked the characters. I liked her arc pretty much. I'm looking forward to finding out what happens next, but it's not really a high priority for me. I think I rated this a 4. I think I rated it a 4. Brain's not working too good tonight. So I'm gonna look inside my book here, my handy dandy journal. So here we are in February. I gave Monstress 4 blossoms, according to my journal. Yes, blossoms, because I wanted to be different, because everybody is stars. Goodreads, 4 stars. My journal, 4 blossoms. Little flowers. Whoa, that ring light's bright. A little, wow, what's happening? You can see my ring light behind me. I should close the curtains. I should close the curtains. Should I close the curtains? I don't want to close the curtains. The rest of the books I read were mostly ebooks. The first book that I want to talk about is The House in the Cerulean Sea. I hands down had to give this 5 rating. A 5 rating was, if I could, I'd go higher. This book by TJ Klune was absolutely, it just took my heart, and just, oh my God, these kids that are in this story and the people that are in the story, I absolutely loved the characters. And I'm hoping that the next book I read by TJ Klune also has more of this type of story, because this was just, it got me in the feels, and it's going to stick with me for a long time, just like The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. That has stuck with me for a long time and always will have my heart. And so does The House in the Cerulean Sea. So much so that eventually I'm going to get my own copy, because I think for sure I would definitely reread it. The next book I want to talk about is The Whispering Skull by Johnathan Stroud. This is book 2 of Lockwood & Company series. I really enjoyed it. I love the characters Lucy and George and Tony Lockwood, and they're trying to, start up their agency. So and they're trying to get their agency going and trying to get some capital. And of course they have the other agency that is, their competition, that is always trying to one up them because they have all kinds of money backing them. So it's interesting to see that dynamic, and there seems to be a little bit of a challenge that happens, and I really enjoyed reading this. It was really, really fun. It's a fun series. It's just enough creepy for me. I do plan to continue the series throughout the next year or two, so there's that. I don't plan on finishing all at once. I'm taking my time with it because I really, really am enjoying it. I also read a children's book called Pirate Stew by Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman wrote this book for his daughter, for his child, and it's so sweet and so funny. And I listened to the audiobook and I enjoyed it so much. Wow, it's getting really dark out. Whew, that ring light is bright. I should just, fuck it. I also read a book by Tanaz, The Beauty of the Moment by Tanaz Bhathena. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, and I did think that it was a really sweet story in a lot of places. And it's about a young girl who loves art, and that is her passion. Her parents don't really see it that way. It is a look into Indian culture. So her family has immigrated to Canada from India via, I believe it was Saudi Arabia. And here they are in Canada. Her and her mother, her father is supposed to be joining them, but not all is as it seems. So there's some bumpy stuff happening with family, and there are a lot of family things that the kids are dealing with. So then there's this young man that catches her eye, and they end up becoming close. And of course, this is frowned upon in the family because, he's not like coming from money, and they want her to be going to school and focusing on her schoolwork and not boys, definitely not boys' schoolwork, because they would like her to become a lawyer, a doctor, engineer, but definitely not an artist. But she really wants to go her own way. I also picked up another book by Nnedi Okorafor. It is a novella called Remote Control. This is about a young girl who is basically seen as the walking death. She goes from town to town, bringing death to those who are in a great deal of pain. Most people fear her or revere her, and she's just a kid, and her whole family is gone. As you read the novella, you find out what happened and why she has this ability, and some of it is quite sad, and your heart just goes out to this poor kid. And so I really, really do recommend it. If you like a little bit of sci-fi, then and you just want a short read, then a Remote Control might be something you might like to read. Next, I read a book called Passionate by Amber Lashell. She is another booktuber, and she is a writer, and I really enjoyed reading just a little bit of what her writing style might become. I think that's why I picked up Passionate. It is just some poetry and short stories. It's a little teen angsty, which is what I expected. Amber did warn me that it's very, very much like stuff that she wrote when she was very young. I want to say that it's a self-published book, and I believe it was her first. And I wanted to get an idea of what Amber's writing might have been like. I wanted to get a glimpse of Amber's writing style and writer's voice. And I believe I did get that reading some of the short story. I enjoyed the twist in that little story, and I got a glimpse of how maybe her mind works a little bit when she's writing. I think she has like some vampire romancy ones. I'm going to check those out because I do like my vampire stuff. I really wanted to read Andrew Sapkowski, Witcher's Adventures of the Witcher kind of series. I really wanted to read the Witcher books before the next season of The Witcher comes out because I absolutely loved it. I don't know a lot of people who didn't watch it. I'm looking forward to season 2, and I kind of wanted to know more of the story before season 2 comes out in case they go in that direction. I really feel that the adaptation that I watched on Netflix was actually pretty spot on to some of the things that I read in The Last Wish. Is it perfect? No. And it doesn't break my heart that it isn't. I too find it quite funny that the character, the bard who travels on the Netflix show, has a completely different name or a different name anyways than what is written in the book. Because in the book, his name is Dandelion. No wonder they changed it. I gave The Last Wish 4 stars on Goodreads. I enjoyed it. It was just what I was looking for, and I didn't expect anything more or anything less. I had a little bit of time left over in February, a little space where I needed an audiobook, so I went ahead and I picked up Shah and the Tree of Wishes, which is the 3rd book in the Padnava series by Roshani Chokshi. I really enjoy these. These are middle grade, and they're so much fun. And I just love this group of kids, and every time they go into a book, they come out with another Pandava, another person that's part of their crew, and I'm really looking forward to reading book 4. It is a quartet, so this is the final book that's going to be coming out with that I get ready to read, and I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to look it up and find out what it is. I kind of want to savor it and wait for a special time when I actually really need something to read that I can just fill that space with. I'm enjoying it. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads. At the end of the month, I actually had just a bit of time left, and I needed something. So as a palate cleanser for all the books I read, just for giggles, I picked up Kill Switch by Penelope Douglas. It is the 3rd book in the Devil's Night series, and for me, it's probably going to be the last one I read. I think I'm done. Damon is probably my favorite character, and I don't know what that says about me. I really don't. He's got this rep for being like the worst in this friend group, and there's something about his story arc. You know that he's tortured. You know that he went through some really bad stuff. You know that he was abused by his mom, but there are the twists in this and the things that happen in the end, but he gets something beautiful that he deserves, because everyone deserves love, and that's all he wanted was that. Nobody really trusts him, but he's still considered their brother. And even though they're not like related by blood, these guys are like their school friends, and he considers them family. Like he's very possessive of the things that are like his family. These guys are his family. The girls that are in the group are considered his family. We find out some other stuff. And his dad is a dick. Seriously. Dude needs to go. And you know how I feel about story arcs where bad guys get exactly what they deserve. I don't know what that says about me. Guy's named Damon. That's right. Vampire Diaries. Damon was my dude. Not Stefan. Damon. The bad boys. I like the bad boys. I don't know what to say. Well, that's it. That's all I read in February. Holy crap. That was a lot of books. How many books was that? Let me count. I read like 11 books, including that kid's book. I'm counting that kid's book. That was almost 50 pages. Just saying. If you like what you see here, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of my face. Until next time, everybody, happy reading.